Hey, what's up everyone? Today we'll be doing a cast test video with the Curado Shimano BFS reel upgraded to the Avail Spool. Now note, I have upgraded the magnets as well. I bought this whole thing from Bait Finesse Empires and they bundled the whole thing together, the spool and the magnets. And technically you don't need to put all the magnets on, but for the sake of this video, I have all the magnets on. And whenever I get used to this spool, you know, as I play around with the different amount of magnets in there, I may do a future one once I figure out what my sweet spot is, and you know, we may do a cast testing then. But right now, all the magnets are on, and now let me talk about the setup. So let me just go over to POV mode and go through all the stuff I have. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the Braid Line. I have the Super Trout Advance. I have the 0.8, which is 15 pounds. Although it's 15 pounds, this thing is super duper thin. I am using this not just for trout, for bass fishing as well. So if you guys want, you technically use thinner ones. Let me show you guys. There's down to 9 pounds. You guys see the size right there, okay, which is 0.5. So yeah, if you guys need something thinner, give it a shot. For most of my pan fishing and trout fishing, I could definitely do it at the 9 pounds, but I opted for the 15 pound because I fish places like ponds and stuff like that. And sometimes, you guys know, braided line, these thin lines, although it's nice and strong, braid are susceptible to abrasions, right? So I got stuff here and there, and once you rub it a few times, you may snap your line, right? So it's just for me, you know, if I were to try to go for the lightest lure for the furthest distance, obviously I will opt for the thinnest one. Anyway, let's talk about the rod for a second. I got the KastKing. This is the Max Steel, and this whole rod setup right here, the whole rod is a twin tip. There's a light and ultralight, but I feel like both are really in the ultralight realm. The ultralight tip is rated down to 1 gram, but I feel like it goes lower than that. I feel like this whole rod is you can say mislabeled, but doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Just misleading, but I still like it. It has a nice flex for a graphite rod. So yeah, I actually did some cast testing impressions already with the light tip, so I kind of went for the ultralight for the cast testing session so I can measure, you know, how this thing goes. So this could be a double whammy on, you know, reviewing the spool and also the rod. Yeah, what do you guys think? As usual, guys, a quick reminder, do not feed the waterfowls. That is a no-no. There's signs everywhere, but people do it anyway. All right, so the first lure I'm throwing today is a Vmc Nymph Jig. This is basically an ice fishing jig, and it's basically resembling a nymph fly from the fly fishing world. I know I made a few posts of this already. This is technically a jig, all right? So why not jig it or float it? You don't need to throw something this heavy on a fly. In fact, most people who fish nymphs don't even go this heavy, all right? 1/32 ounce. And let me talk about this. I did a figure 8 knot up here. I basically made a loop knot here because I didn't want to do any sort of leader, just plain braid. I could just back this loop out and change lures too. I'm not going to deplete any line on my reel. I have 125 spooled up originally, plus a length of the rod, because you know, when you reel in, you still have some extra right there. So I don't think I went any lower than 125. So let's get to cast testing. I'm just gonna wait for the wind to die down just a little bit, and I'm gonna do the first cast. All right, so I am at break 2.4. Let's see how this goes. All right, it went to the left a little bit, but it was dry. Let me cast it one more time now that it's wet. I'm hoping that when it's wet, it'll cast further, because I did cast pretty good with the light rod tip, and now the wind is blowing. It's going crazy. So let me do a few more casts. I might have to drop the brakes down a little bit. I upped it recently. Okay, that is a good cast, but the wind is carrying it. But yeah, I think I could dial down the brakes a little bit more. So let me just dial this a little bit. One last cast and time to test. All right, that's a good one right there. That is a good one right there. All right, reset. Start reeling in, slow, 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 slow. All right. Right about here, look at that, 38.3 feet, 1/32 ounce, ice nymph jig. Let's go, let's go. All right, Silly Jimbo just did the best cast of his life with the trout magnet on this reel, and I measured 37.4, but Yeah, I wasn't recording, but I could do it again. But anyways, as I was just saying, I am now throwing a trout magnet. This is approximately 1 gram. And I was talking about a conversation I had with another BFS person. Well, it's more of a guy trying to get into BFS, and he was asking about what reels could throw a trout magnet and what can't. And we were talking about the Curado. I said it can't with stock spool, and he said, oh, then that sucks. That reel, I don't want the reel. And it felt almost like he was saying the reel sucks. And what I want to say that whoever set the bar about how a reel should cast, how light, no. I don't know. There shouldn't be any bar set at the moment because there is no standard. Every BFS reel is really different, right? So you just need to understand the reels, what it's capable for. Just because the stock spool doesn't cast a trout magnet doesn't mean the reel sucks. This reel is freaking amazing. It's just not class for that type of light lures. Now, once you upgrade it to the Avail Spool, yes, you could definitely throw it, all right? But yeah, it's interesting that everyone's shooting for a setup that throws the lightest lure. And you know, finesse fishing is the key for me, so I love throwing the trout magnet. But once again, the trout magnet does not dictate how good or not good a reel is, all right? So that's gotten out of the way. Let's do another cast. I have set the brakes to 2 now. And let's see if I cast further than my first measured cast, which was 37 something. I don't remember anymore. But anyways, let's put this here, just like that. And let's start reeling up. Put this up here. And once again, if you guys are using any sort of line measuring tools, make sure you guys reel slow, because if you reel too fast, what happened is the wheel keeps spinning and it'll be inaccurate. So it's 36, a little less than the first cast, but still, it's still pretty good. So yeah, I think for fishing small little ponds and trout streams, I could definitely throw this with no problems, right? And also, if I wanted to really throw it a little further, like I said in the beginning video, you could likely achieve this by using thinner line, and I have 125 feet, right? So you guys technically don't need that much in the first place. All right, so with the wind right now and 2 brakes, casting too hard is not gonna work. Of course, when you cast stuff this light, you gotta go softer. Softer is better. I know a lot of people would just wing the BFS, and I mean, I do it too on my videos. Some of you guys may have seen it, but yeah, it's all about short distance. I'm just casting as best as I can to hit the maximum distance for you guys. It may not be super accurate, but you know, I just want to show you guys the distance, and that is acceptable accuracy for me, so we would count those few casts. Anyway, let's move on to the next lure. All right, guys, the next lure, the EPF Swim from Euro Tackle on a 1/32 ounce jig head, size 6 hook. This is something I think will be perfect for most BFS reels to throw. You know, it's a trout magnet. I feel like not much people would throw the trout magnet that light for fishing most waters anyway, unless you're fishing like a super deep, tiny trout stream. For like ponds, like, you know, pond hopping, heck, even my kayak fishing, I do love throwing the EPF on that weight, especially for my shallow lakeside fish. So let's throw this and see how well it goes. And woo, it goes. All right, that's a perfect cast. So I have to just measure it right off the bat. Now, this is still at 2 brakes, so that's pretty cool. Get this up just like that. All right, here we go. Let's reel this baddie in and see what we got. Should be like in a 40. Come on, let's go. Oh yeah, look at that. Getting close to 50. Right to that little knot. Very close to 50. I think I could probably nail 50 if I try really hard, but I'll probably lose some accuracy. So let's just call it 49.5. All right, pretty good. All right, guys, the next lure. Euro Tackle Z Viber, 1/16 ounce. This is their smaller version. So this is technically the world's smallest rattle trap. Single hooks for the win. And they do have treble hooks, but you gotta put that on yourself. I will keep the single hook on. But anyways, let's give this a cast. I am still at 2 brakes. I just tapped it for a second, so let me do it one more time. Yeah, I was a little scared, casting pretty hard. But I don't think I need to thumb it. There we go. Just stop it right when it touches the water. Let's take a look at that. But wow, that's yeah, I just love throwing this guy because it's so small and so compact. It just cuts through the wind. So could be like close to 50. Might be in the 50s. Oh, nope, nope. Nope, nope, no, no, no. Oh, barely. All right, one more time, guys. One more time. I think I could hit 50. So let me try. I don't know, should I count that? So the wind picked my line and I saw it bend over, so I kind of don't want to do that because it probably pulled extra line. So let me try one more time. I'm gonna try to roll cast or just, you know, sling it. That's a little bit better. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that far, but you know, we'll, whatever this is, it is that. All right. It's gonna be in the 40s. Right about there. So 46.6, not too bad, not too bad. All right, so I want to throw the bigger version too, just to see if there's a little difference. So let's get to it. I feel like it's gonna be the same. I mean, it should be if it's weighed the same. The size difference is not that much far apart, but we shall see. We shall see. Now, because it is bigger, when I swing it behind me, it might pick up more air, so the rod tip might bend a little bit more. So I might end up using more of the rod tip too. So just because it's the same weight, different size, it may act a little different. Now, I don't know if the weight is exactly the same, so I'm gonna go home and weigh it. But surprise, surprise, this guy actually goes a little further. 54.5. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? All right, folks, as a finesse angler, I think my most popular jig weight that I fish throughout most of the waters, you know, and anything that I've depicted so far has been a 1/16 ounce jig head plus some sort of plastic, right? And if you guys are not aware, my favorite out of all of them is the Euro Tackle 1/16 ounce jig head. Their soft lock tungsten jig head plus the 2-inch B Vibe. All right, that's been my bread and butter for two years, maybe close to 3 years. So yeah, let's do this. Oh, all right, it's definitely heavier. So I forgot to change the brakes. Being under 2 is no good. So let me fix this very quick. And I do want to portray some backlashes because it's good to portray backlash because you could see if the line goes through the spool, and which it does not. This is pretty thin. Oh man, I don't think I've shown this to you guys yet, but yeah, there's like literally barely any gap. But of course, you know, this will still go into it if you know, opportunity permits itself. But I'm looking at it, I don't know, man. The opportunity might be like less than 5%, because so far I've been fishing this spool for about a month now, and with all the backlash that I've got, which is not a lot because this spool and this braking system is amazing, I have not gotten line into the spool at all, boys and girls. But anyway, let me bump this to like 2.5, because I typically throw most of my stuff with 2.5 on this reel, so it's not too bad. So that's okay. Maybe I could back it down just a little bit more, but yeah, this reel could already do this out of the box before. So do you need to upgrade your spool for something like this? The answer is no, probably not. All right, I was able to cast probably around the same distance, but it did kind of backlash right there with what's that, 2.25. One more time, a little softer cast. Oh wait, nope, you cannot count that one. My counter decided to spin around. One more time. All right, that's not too bad. I think I'll probably cast further with a light tip rod than an ultralight. So yeah, be mindful, guys, that I'm throwing things with an ultralight tip that is likely ultralight tip, because this is thinner than their light tip. All right, so let me reel this in. Oh wait, crap, I didn't reset that. All right, so Jimbo has to redo it one more time. Hold up, one more time, just one more time. But yeah, guys, I typically don't throw ultralight. I usually throw it at light. That's my game. All right, so let's reset this one more time. And let's put this here. Reset it one more time. All right, let's go. All right, so it's not that far. Very interesting, very, very interesting. Makes me want to get a different rod and do another cast test session for you guys, because yeah, I'm telling you, this ultralight rod, eventually it will not have the strength to cast any distance. And it's okay, guys, I will go back to my car because I do have my my other rod with me, the rod tip, that is. And I think we should do that, because this is not a good representation of casting this lure, okay? Because I have been casting a lot further than 55, okay? Casting a lot more further than 55. All right, folks, so I'm gonna switch over to the light tip, okay? As you see, this is the dual tip from the KastKing Max Steel. And I'm gonna put this very close so you guys kind of can see the tips. Hopefully it'll focus pretty good. The lower one, as you see, is thinner than the top one, but I still feel that this guy here is pretty ultralight to me. You could definitely go under 2 grams, unlike what it says on the rod. So let me put this on and let's throw the same lures back and see if there's any difference between the rod tips. And the cool thing about what I've done here, right, instead of putting a snap-on, right, tying snap-on, I put this loop here. This loop allowed me to take the rod tip off, take the lures off without cutting any lines. So this test is pretty accurate, other than the wind and my casting power, right? So let's get back out at the water and see what's up. All right, guys, so we're gonna go backwards now using the light tip. I'm gonna start with the Euro Tackle B-Vibe 1/16 ounce. Oh yeah, I feel like this feels like it's a little bit better, but I might have to make sure this thing doesn't touch. I heard it rub, I think. But let me try one more time. It is at 2 1/4 for brakes. And it feels like I can cast a little bit better. So let me measure this guy here. And let's see how that goes. Definitely feels a lot stiffer. Probably not that much further, because I still feel like this light tip is ultralight. And if I put it on my Dobyns, I bet you I'll probably get a little further, or I put it on my Dragon. But 55.9. I mean, it feels easier, like, to get it out there. Like, I don't need to use that much power because my ultralight tip, right, I have to load it up really hard. Like right now, this is just a soft cast, and I just rubbed the crap out of that thing right there. But yeah, I feel like for something like a 1/16 ounce jig, and perhaps even a thicker plastic, like this B-Vibe is actually a very thin plastic, not that heavy, so it might be okay for ultralight too. But if you guys were to use a 1/16 ounce jig head plus a thicker plastic, like a 3-inch plastic, definitely go with a light rod tip. You probably get a lot further distance than what you see here. So let's do this one here. I think this might be the best cast so far. Right about there, so 56.4. Now, what if I put the brakes down even lower? Let's try it too. All right, last measured cast to right here. All right, that's not good. I'm touching. So I cannot count that one. We cannot count that one. All right, this is what I'll do. I'm gonna rotate my reel when I cast so this thing doesn't touch. Nope, it touched. That's terrible. I am now backlash, like, not good. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. See, guys, cast testing is not that easy. Product reviews are not that easy sometimes. It gets a little annoying. Let me put this thing low. Whoa, okay. That, my friends, Might be it. Might be it. Right to the dot right there. Okay, see, closer to 60 feet. See, the light is definitely better. Now, I can't wait in the future, once I figure out the magnets, I might try less magnets, but I think I probably could go lower than 1 right now. Let's do one more time, all right? One last cast at 1.75-ish, and I gotta be mindful. Oh man, it goes out. It goes out very fast. So let's measure this too. Let's do it. Probably not a good idea with wind and everything. If you guys are casting bigger lures that's bulky, but this might be okay. If this is over 60, then I'm pretty happy. Slow down. Okay, 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 okay. This is over 60. Look at that, 61.2. So there's potential to go further. Okay, I just have to probably use a different rod, but this is not bad. All right, guys, let's backtrack to the Z Viber, the bigger one. All right, 1/16 ounce, and let's let it rip right here. All right, I didn't expect to go left that way, so let me compensate my cast for 1 second. There we go. That looks good. That looks mighty good. All right, let's reel this baddie in. Will I get 60 feet? Will I get 60 feet? Come on, come on. Oh, very close, 56. So yeah, this guy rated down to 2 grams, the rod tip, but I could still do this guy right here, the 1/16 ounce. If I want to get it further, like I said, maybe a thinner line, less line, and this thing should get up pretty good. And that's backlash, my bad. All right, fam, I'm gonna do the trout magnet. That's probably the lowest I'll go, just for the sake. As you saw, I threw it. It says rated down to 2 grams, but I still did 1 gram with the light tip. How far? Well, let's find out. I am at break 1.75, right? So let's just measure this guy. Put it right here. There we go. Not that far, but you still could do it. And you know what? Since it's the same casting session, we could technically do a comparison between both rod tips. And I hit 40. That's still impressive, guys. That's impressive. All right, fam. The last lure I'm gonna throw is a 3 gram Surinoya pencil stick bait, whatever you guys want to call it. And yeah, I'm gonna let this thing rip. So I wanted to put it at least 2 breaks. And man, I'm breaking my finger trying to turn this dial. That's the only one thing that I do not like about the Curado, is the dial is terrible. Like, I'm compared to the Aldebaran. The Aldebaran is like easy breezy. This guy right here, just like everyone said, you could break a freaking fingernail trying to turn this dial. But I guess it's okay. You don't really use the dial that much anyway, especially with the stock, I guess, braking. So yeah, let's let this rip. Oh no, looks like the brakes, yeah, this thing is coming out super fast. All right, so let me just compensate my casting. I want to keep it at 2 for a second, so let me cast one more time. That's not too bad, but yeah, I think this will definitely need a little bit more braking if I want to cast harder, and I'll probably do better with a more stiffer rod. There we go. And oh no, that's not a good way to measure, especially if it touches that. One more time. Man, Jimbo's not doing too well. All right, one more time. All right, that's good, that's good. It's not touching at all. Let's put this thing right here. Yeah, 3.1 grams, I believe that's what it was. But yep, I did fish this setup on the Dobyns rod, and I've been throwing heavier stuff, and those are pretty good. But anyway, 56 feet. So it's not too bad, man. It's not too bad. I do like this spool. Definitely is a must if you guys are into throwing lighter lures. Okay. If I have to say, the Curado stock was not my trout reel, because I like to throw a lot lighter stuff. For instance, I like to throw a lot of hair jigs at 1/16 ounce. When it's wet, you know, and you know, with all the materials tied, it probably close to 2 grams. I'd say you could kind of do it, right? You kind of could do it, but I wasn't a fan of it. But now that I swapped to this spool here, I feel like it's gonna be a lot better. So I am gonna take this for trout fishing this year, because it's already 2022, okay? Because it's already 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. So yeah, man, I am excited with this spool. So let me wrap up. Wow, guys, that was one amazing cast testing video session. What did you guys think? Now, although this was kind of like a double whammy review, right? Well, I portrayed 2 things, right? We portrayed the KastKing Max Steel rod with both tips. We're gonna focus mainly during this wrap-up summary about the Avail Spool on Curado BFS reel. Now, originally, before doing this upgrade, I was gonna keep this Curado BFS reel for bass fishing only, and I was gonna put thicker line on it and do some power BFS fishing. But now with this Avail Spool, I think it changed my mind completely about this reel, and I think it's gonna be my next favorite all-rounder. And if you guys haven't seen some of my other videos or hear, you know, what my opinion of my current collection, for the past year and a half, I think the Tatula 100 with Chameleon DIY spool has been my favorite all-rounder. And you know, I could do some trout fishing with it, I could do bass fishing with it, right? It's not like a specific, like my Alpha's Air TW with the Chameleon DIY spool, that's been focusing on throwing the super light stuff, right? That would be my focus for, you know, pan fishing and trout. But I wouldn't use that for bass fishing because the spool is a lot smaller, right? So I won't cast further with some of my bigger lures. I could do it with the, you know, my lighter lures, but you know, it's niche, okay? But this Curado with the Avail Spool now, I just expanded everything. I love it. Like all the lures I've been throwing, like on these 2 rod tips, it was interesting comparing the 2. But I feel like I'll be throwing most of the stuff 2 grams up anyway. But when I do take this reel out for some trout fishing, potentially, I may, you know, throw a trout magnet. You never know, right? With some small streams or some finicky stuff. I do love throwing hair jigs, right? 1/32 ounce and 1/16 ounce with some material plus water. It's definitely over the 1 gram mark. So, you know, I don't need to worry all the way down to that, you know, trout magnet level. It's definitely heavier than the trout magnet level. But yeah, it can do it. It can do it, and I like it. So, like I said, it's going to be definitely my next favorite all-rounder. Only time will tell. There's still a lot of things I need to play around with, especially with removing some magnets and see where I can fine tune. If you guys remember during this cast testing video, primarily I've been using brakes from 2.5 and below down to like 1.75. Now, if I remove some magnets, I don't know which part would work the best or how many I need to remove. If I could use braking closer to, let's say, the 3 range, I feel like it allows me to do more fine tuning of the braking, and yeah, it'll probably cast a lot smoother and likely further, okay? So yeah, I think it's gonna take me a while for that in order to figure out what I want to do. We all don't like this reel for only one thing, and that is that dial changing the brakes has been tough. You break nails on it. So if you guys or anyone watching this video know how to modify that and make it a little easier, feel free to recommend it to Jimbo. Maybe Jimbo could try it out. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't like tuning that. So I might just remove 2 magnets and just call it a day. Because Jimbo, usually when I fish a specific trip, I don't really change the dial much anyway. I usually throw lures pretty much very close together. So it hasn't been any trouble for me with the stock spool. But moving to a Avail Spool with all the magnets on, it hasn't been an issue for that either. But again, once you remove brakes, you're gonna have to change the dial a lot more. So that might change my opinion. So yep, plenty of time to play around with it, and I will definitely report back once I do some of those fine tuning of the magnets. But right now I just have them all on there, and I'm still liking it. I'm loving it. So if you guys want to check out this spool because you have the Curado BFS or the SLX or the Scorpion, And you guys in the US, check out Bait Finesse Empire. They will sell the spool with the magnets already bundled in together. The fish don't wait, guys. Get the spool before it gets sold out again. All right. And I'm loving this spool. Loving this reel now. All right. Peace out.